deal with the ambiguities and the complexities of the issue.
Right.
All they do is they come out and they throw a few catchphrases. We jump on the bandwagon without understanding. Well, what is it that you really argue? Where are you really standing? Or like you said, economically. It's like I was listening at one of the discourses today. I was out with my daughter. We were having lunch. And we were listening to them, and they were basically denigrating this new station. Y'all know who it is. I won't say it because it's Fox News. They were one-dimensionalizing a complex argument. They were just saying, point blank, hey, he won't work with the Republicans on jobs. They never talked about, wait a minute, what was the complexities of the arguments, one? Number two, who benefits from it?
Right.
Number three, if you're going to talk about jobs, were these jobs enough for a person to survive? It's another thing to talk about, they got a job. These folks got jobs. But does the job give them enough to where they can sustain themselves?
Fascinating part about that argument, they were talking about Bain Capital earlier today.
Yeah.
And we were making this point, which a lot of folks missed, was that Bain Capital was able to basically destroy the textile industry in New Hampshire, send it to South Carolina because you had cheaper labor.
Right.
And from South Carolina it went overseas, so there's no longer a textile industry in America. But that is capitalism, that's wonderful, so let's vote for Romney.
Right. What's the complexity of the argument? What is it that you're really saying? We don't listen to. They'll run around here when it's time to get elected. Now, the rest of the time, they ain't doing squat to help anybody, but they love friends. Where is the argument? What are you saying? We don't take enough to really examine what's being said. So now the church is naive and infantile. Because we don't understand what's transpiring on a larger scale. Just like you said, who would have even stepped back and said, wait a minute, you're talking about Romney, you're talking about health care, you're talking about, well, what is that and what does that mean? And even got kids running around. Ron Paul is a doctor, so he'll be able to straighten out Obamacare.
Yeah.
Really?
Please.
But even children. Tell me about the health care and who it affects.
That's right.
But should the church even be addressing that? Well, most folks say no.
Well, as you pointed out earlier about what Ron Paul said about his friend who didn't have enough insurance, so he should have died in the hospital. And folks were okay with that.
Oh, they jumped up and down. So he made the decision, let him die.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, thank you. It would be nice if it was your family. Let's see how you work with it that way.
That's right.
Okay, here we go. Isaiah. I am reading from what?
It's not.
Just kind of Bible. Let me tell you the difference. Folks, you have a translation. What then is your translation? How did they translate it? You got to step into interpreting this so you understand what's transpiring. As a prophetic voice, Isaiah says this, or the writer pins this, and this writer, scholars will call, in chapters 1 through 39, who?
Isaiah of Jerusalem.
This is where the book is broken down.
So where did you say that
Deuteronomy, second Isaiah. Deuteronomy, second Isaiah. It's broken down into these periods. It's broken down into where these people are, as we talk about geographically, we talk about a time frame, we talk about a writing style. 1 through 39, Isaiah of where? Deuteronomy, Isaiah, captivity. Post-exilic. So let's take a look at it, because we're talking about Isaiah of Jerusalem before they go into captivity. Here we go. Y'all let me know if y'all still with me. Because my sister's sitting there like.
which one did you say was captivity? Which one? 56 or 6?
Treat of Isaiah, post-exilic. Post-exilic, coming back out of exile.
Okay. Excuse me, do you know what time your break is?
Ma'am?
Do you know what time we have break?
I'm going to give y'all a break about 8:30 and y'all can go on back. Y'all business. Here we go. Ha! Those who write out evil writs and compose iniquitous documents to subvert the cause of the poor, to rob of their rights the needy of my people, that widows may be their spoil and fatherless children their booty. What will you do on the day of punishment when the calamity comes from afar? To whom will you flee for help? And how will you save your carcasses from collapsing under fellow prisoners, from falling beneath the slain? Yet his anger has not turned back, and his arm is outstretched still. Ha! Assyria, rod of my anger, in whose hand as a staff is my fury. I send him against an ungodly nation. I charge him against a people that provokes me, and to make it a thing trampled like the mountain. Who is he talking to? Who is he talking to? Say it again. He talking to the Israelites. He ain't talking against the rest of these folk. He's talking to Israel. Now, here's some of the problems you got to deal with. The image of God. This angry God that turns God's wrath against God's chosen. Who suffers? Who suffers?
God's people.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yes, indeed.
God's people.
That's right.
Everybody. So now this is not because Assyria is a rod in God's hand.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
This is the supposedly ungodly nation that everybody's hollering about, but guess what? In the image of what writing is saying, God calls Assyria, and Assyria will be the correcting rod in a hand of an angry God. And it's pointed toward Israel. Now put that against the church, the nation, however you want to go with it. God wouldn't do that. God is God of love. God just not in this text. And the reason is not because of homosexuality or abortion. It's for exploitation of the poor, the widows, and the...
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's what... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. What's wrong, Brother Parrish?
What troubles me is that every time I hear people rail against the poor,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, these are the people who thought this was the Jesus candidate.
Yeah.
Where have you read the Bible?
Right.
And see what he says about the poor?
There you go.
Poor, the widows.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What's that to do with money?
And that's what angers me. It's just what you say. Is that we jump on the bandwagon.
Yes.
He ought to just die in the street. That's not. What are you saying?
What are you saying?
And we are the ones. We are Christians. And you can't take care of everybody. You just let them die. Really? Okay. Okay. Because what he's talking about is a system that has been put up, and now listen to the text again. Go back. This is not. I see your hand, and I'm gonna get you. I just want y'all to hear this. Listen to it again. In the first one, he said, "Those who write out evil writs and compose iniquitous documents." Who are these people?
Lawmakers.
Lawmakers, governments, leaders, religious leaders. These are the people. This is the one that God has issues with.
Yes, we're violating what he put in.
Here we go. To subvert the cause of the poor. You putting in documents, writings, laws, ordinances, procedures that would keep them.
Rob the rights of the needy people. My people.
And if we are not careful, if we are not careful, and that's why I've reached a point where, not because somebody looks like you, they think like you.
Oh, that's for sure.
We have reached a point where we're beginning to say, well, what has Obama done for me lately? Well, can you just shut your mouth a little bit before you just go off like that?
Right.
People like us, we say, what has he done for me lately? Do you see who's ready to come in the door?
Yeah.
Do you want do you want them to come in the door and take off? Is that what you want?
And the second part is not just what has Obama done, but what have you done for yourself to enhance your own condition?
That's right.
No, what you wanted was him to walk in with a magic wand,
Make everything all
He
right.
can't do it.
and then for you to sit on your sorry behind. No, it's a combination. The only thing I'm telling you is it's a multiplicity of things.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
the prophets
system
don't
already
just,
in place.
so the prophets don't just speak to the system, they speak to the system, but also to the people.